Velvin here again, and today I am bringing you a game from the first round of a summer kit tournament held in Sweden, in Kalmar. We drove up four of us from Malmö, the local playgroup I'm in, and in this one we see Peter Anderson on the left, playing against Johan Manström, Johan on the right. He's one of my local gaming partners. So Peter here is flying Poe Dameron with VI, the R5P9 regen bot from the focus token, and auto thrusters. He's got Rourke Garnet in the Hawk, which is the guy that gives one of your pilot skill 12 in the combat phase, and he's equipped with a twin laser turret. And then he's got a Gold Squadron Y-Wing with the twin laser turret R382 stress bot and the BTL A4 title, so he can shoot at the front arc first with his normal gun and then with his twin laser turret, and doing 2 stress both to the target and himself. And then he's got a Bandit Squadron pilot. Johan on the right is flying Darth Vader with VI, the X1 title, giving him an advanced targeting computer and an engine upgrade. And then he's got 3 Tempest Squadron pilots here with the TIE X1 titles, and all of them have accuracy corrector, which means they will always do 2 hits when they shoot, except maybe at range 1 if he rolls better. So he's got 4 pretty hard to hit ships here versus the Stress Hog here and TLT Hawk. I'm thinking the TIEs should be able to outlast the opponents here. However, Poe could be a really tough end game piece here to beat, so I think Johan's plan should be to just, outlast, shoot, and make sure he doesn't get hit back using... Looks like he's taking evade actions here on all of his TIEs. And we have Darth Vader moving last here with VI, since he's at pilot skill 11. And this is the original Poe here, so he's pilot skill 8 plus 2, which means 10. So the VI is really paying off for Johan in this game, and not so much for Peter. So we have the TIEs just, lining up abreast there, appearing to be maybe just range 3 to the Bandit, which the TIEs are pretty happy with, because that Bandit will have an almost impossible task to score a hit. If he's just out of range from the Stress Hawk and the TLT Hawk, I think this is the perfect setup for the TIEs. And he's going to barrel and boost with Vader, probably hoping to get just a range 3 shot at that Bandit with Vader as well. We'll see here, because we will now be moving into the combat phase, and looks like he's just out of range with everything. So no shots, which I think favors the Rebel side here a bit, because if there would have been shots, it would have just been the Bandit shooting. So next round coming up, the Bandit is moving first. This is because the Bandit has the same pilot skill as the Gold. You could move the Gold first, bump into the back of your own to keep your distance, because that is what you want to do with the TLT. However, then you won't get a focus, but let's see here. I think he's gunning for Vader with the Stress Hog here, because if you stress Vader, he becomes a pretty easy target for the TLTs, from the Hawk here especially, because Vader needs his actions to stay alive. And we have a 2 straight from probably all of those. Maybe it banks from the other 2 Tempest Squadrons. So he keeps taking the evade action with the advanced, trusting in the accuracy corrector to keep going 2 hits all the time, and his green dice and 1 evade token to stay alive, which should be pretty okay. Thing is, when you have 3 TIEs doing this, you might want to do the focus when you get into range 1, but there's no range 1 shots this turn, it looks like. Yeah, it looks fine, no bumps. And then we have Rourke in the Hawk, who is doing a slow move here, yeah, keeping range because the TLT wants to shoot from range 3 to give the bonus green dot to its own ship, but not to the targets. And we have Poe, who's probably doing a 2-bank or something. Yeah, looks like a 2-bank. So both players have been doing a nice job here, being able to concentrate fire. And I assume Vader is going to do a 2 straight as well. Ignoring the Y-Wing. Maybe making it his primary target here with all the ships. Because if they all do 2 hits, that's 8 hits. And maybe, you know, be able to kill it next turn. So here's the 2 straight. Setting up a slew of range 2, maybe a range 3 shot on the Y-Wing if you want. You could of course also concentrate his fire on Poe, because you need to do that to get through the region. And let's see what action he decides, because if he decides to take a target lock, we will know who his intended target here is for probably the entire squad. Remember, the advanced targeting computer on Vader's TIE allows him to add a critical result after he's rolled his attack dice. So more or less making him a 3 attack dice ship that always scores a crit. It's going to be nice to fly alongside the Kylo Ren crew when Kylo Ren crew is released in Wave 10. Okay, so yeah, he decides to target lock the Y-Wing, it looks like. And then is he going to take a focus or an evade with Vader? He is thinking about that as well here. And looks like he decided to go for a focus. Maybe the camera's not picking it up very well here. This was live streamed at the event, and then the video sent to me here. So the camera is good, but it's not that sharp here. So it looks... I'm going to say it's an evade. Let's see. Okay. So Rourke decided that the Gold Squadron is pilot skill 12 here. So he's going to shoot Vader, stress himself and stress Vader. It looks like 1 hit from the regular attack, and looks like 1 evade. And then we have the TLT shot, stress him again. And that looks like 2 hits. And it was a hit in the focus, so now it's 2 hits. Let's see what Vader comes up with here. It looks like 2 symbols. So I think he did not evade that. So 1 shield on Vader. And then he's got 3 natural ones. And it looks like Vader has 2 eyes there, so 1 more damage. No, he decides to spend his focus to avoid that one. So 1 shield down on Vader. So that means Vader should be up next. Shooting back. I'm sorry for the broad overlays here, but when it was streamed they had you know, the text put there already, and I made my sides to cover that. I'm still experimenting on the finest, or how the best way to do the overlays. I think I have come up with one that I really like, but it won't work when there was already text from the original footage. And then we have Poe shooting, and I assume he's going to go for Vader here. Looks like range 3, so that's going to be 4 green dice for the Dark Lord. Let's see if Poe can get through that. He gets 3 hits, and that's not 3 evades. That means Vader is down into hole by now. Then we have the looks like it should be Rourke now. Yeah, so 3 hits from the twin laser turret, and again 1 damage squeak through here to Vader, and then 3, and that looks like 3 evades maybe. So I think Vader is down to 2 hit points, and that's Vader's problem. he is susceptible to damage, especially from TLT shots. The 3 green dice won't hold up very long if you're not tokened up, and 1 shot is okay, but 2 or more is not. And then he's going to do the bandit as well here on Vader. And looks like 1. And that's evaded. So I think keeping Vader alive is going to be Johan's primary concern for the rest of the game here, as his Tempest squadrons try to kill the enemy while Vader stays alive. So it looks like range 2. Yep. He's going to shoot the Y-wing here, and that's going to be 2 hits. So I think 1 goes through. I think while Vader is alive, it really doesn't matter if you do focus or evade on the Tempest, because they're not going to be taking any fire, and they're going to do 2 hits. Only at range 1 will it matter. And 2 more, and looks like it was cleanly evaded because it's range 3 here. 2 hits. And I think 1 got through there. Or no, 2 natural evades again. That's a dodgy Y-wing. So the Y-wing is probably 1 shield left here, I think. And Vader is down to 2 hull, I believe. So let's see how they get out of this mess. Or if they're just going to run into each other. I assume Vader is going to do a 1 bank to the left here, clearing one of the stresses. Or maybe just straight. I mean, he wants to have a shot, he could try to stay very close to those TLTs. However, he's going to have a hard time avoiding the primary weapons of the Y-wing. Looks like he mixed up the dials, but they both have the 1 straight green there, so no harm done. That's actually in the rules if you do the wrong dial, but the ship has the maneuver, it's okay. Then we have the Tempest squadrons. This could be a 4K here, or maybe a bank or something. No, it looks like he's going to K-turn, which I think is a smart move here, because if he can get behind that Y-wing and behind the Hawk, he's in a good spot. The TIE Advance, they don't have the 1 straight to slow roll behind, but they do have the 1 banks. And then a barrel roll, because, as we said before, they don't really need the tokens for attack, as they will do 2 hits, and versus the Y-wing that's plenty, because it only has 1 green. There should be another 4K, I believe. Looks like they're going to have to get rid of the the Z95 there. That also sets up a pretty good block position on Poe, making sure Poe doesn't get any actions at least. And if you can get Vader out, he really can't. He can't really avoid them. Maybe he's going to do the really quick move here. He could just run straight into the Y-wing and hopefully only take fire from Hawk. I think that's his best option, because the 2 straight is green on Vader's dial. And just try to keep Vader alive here, while the Tempest squadrons do the actual shooting. So let's see here. We have Rourke, he'll be up next. And he is doing... He's just going to do 2 straight. Probably ending up just on the other side of Poe there. And by doing so, he's probably making sure he has TLT shots on Vader. But if Vader is doing a hard 2 or a bank 1 to the right, he will have shots at the Hawk. But then the Y-wing's primary and the Hawk's TLT will shoot back. So I still think the best way here is for Vader is to run into the Y-wing if that's possible. He might hit his own TIE Advance there. And then we have a 1 bank from Poe, which is going to run into the Hawk now. Or maybe not. It's going to run into the TIE Advanced. So it's still going to have a range 1 shot at the front. TIE Advanced. And then we have Vader here. So let's see what he decided to do. Yeah, he decided to do the straight move. And the question is, who will he hit? Because if they're parallel, he'll hit the Y-Wing, but if the Advanced is slightly more angled, oh, looks like he did hit the Y-Wing. So that is probably exactly what he wanted here, to avoid the TLT shot, or the primary from the Y-Wing. So he's only, oh, but Poe still has a shot at him, even if it's unmodified. But he gets to shoot back, so we'll see. In the next round, I think the TIE Advanced are positioned in a pretty good way to try to chase down the rebels and try to kill everything except Poe, and then hopefully he can have Vader and one TIE Advanced in the end game versus Poe, because Poe will never have a shot at Vader then. Because that's what these Tempests are good at, surviving. So we're going to start with making Poe Pilot School 12, it looks like. So he's going to shoot at Vader, trying to kill him before he shoots back. And that looks like 3 natural hits again from Poe. And that looks like 1 evade. So the question is Vader now dead or down to 1 hit point? He is indeed dead, because I think, as we said, he had 2 hit points left. So that's a good start for Peter. Well, that's the risk when you bring the Dark Lord just straight into the fray, not take advantage of his high mobility and trying to, you know, joust with the Tempests and go on the outside with Vader. Still tricky though, because the opponents might still go for him and ignore the Tempests. So I guess the TLTs have no shot now. Maybe the Y-Wing has on the TIE Advanced furthest to the right. So he's going to have a primary shot there. They're checking if he has arc. And I think he does. Let's see what they decide. No, or maybe. Yeah, looks like he's going to thinking about assigning stress here. Yeah, 1 stress for him and a 2nd stress for the TIE Advanced. Probably the good call here. Looks like nothing. So let's see if the TIE Advanced can take out the Z95. Let's see, he probably needs to kill the Stress Hog and one of the other ships to equal what he lost in Vader. Vader is 35. I think, with that setup, and the Stress Hog and the Z should be more than that. But with the focus, there's 2 evades, so no damage. And again, still range 1 here, I guess. Yeah, looks like it. And well, it's going to be 2 hits anyway. And his green dice are pretty hard here. It looks like 1 evade. So he only lost a shield so far on the Z95. And the final Tempest. And 2 hits from the accuracy corrector. And 1 more evade. So it's a shieldless Z95 there, I think. So the question is now, can the Tempests claw their way back here by taking out 2 of the rebel ships, while not losing 1 of theirs, their own? Let's see here. So we're going to have the Bandit first. And it looks like bank somewhere. Now it's a hard turn. Okay. That probably won't take him out of the arcs of the TIE Advanced. Maybe one of them, the one that's pointing like next to the Y-Wing. And the Y-Wing, he needs to get around here, so he's going, he's just going to, maybe he's trying to block. And otherwise a longer bank and then a K-turn would be possible after you've cleared the stress. Because of those banks are not green on the Y-Wing. Because if he wants to shoot with it again, he needs to come around. So that means next up are all the ties. So are we getting one banks here to the left? Indeed we are. Clearing stress and getting a nice... Now this is, this is where you don't drop the evade token here. Now you're going to have to do you're going to target lock or you're going to focus. I would suggest target locking, because if you roll well, you'll keep it for the next turn here, and I don't think anyone will shoot him. One straight from Poe will most likely bump. The Hawk is probably not going to get out of range 1, so the TLT won't shoot him, and the Y-Wing has no arc, and he is inside range 1 there as well. So this is where you do the target lock, I hope, or I think. He is thinking here. And he decides to... Okay, he's going to decide to do the barrel. He's thinking of maybe trying to block the Hawk there. I don't know why. Or maybe... Well, he's still going to have shots at the Z95, but he might actually barrel into its arc, which seems strange there, range 3. Or maybe he just stayed out of the arc. I don't know, but he wants to maybe stay away from his friends here. We'll say he doesn't want to block his other ones. So is this a hard turn? Maybe it's a hard 2. No, it's a 1 bank as well, clearing stress. And then he's probably going to try to barrel this guy in as well. Okay. Makes sense. Question is if he gets blocked or not by the Y-Wing. It looks like it was a block. Okay. And then we have a 2 straight here, maybe. But yeah, and the other one was double stressed. Yeah. So he still has 1 stress, and this one is clear. No, it's another bank. So it means he's going to have a range 1 shot at the Y-Wing. And looks like it's going to be bumping here as well. Yeah. Oops, moving the Y-Wing a bit. Well, he was canning right for that rock. So now then we have Rourke. Let's see if he could... Rourke is going full throttle for the Hawk here. Now, he's going to do a 3 straight, trying to get TLT range, which he did. And then we have Poe, who's going to do 1 straight. Yeah, I think he would have been better off not barreling that TIE Defender, or TIE Advanced. Oh, still a bump. Or... Yeah. But he's still going to have a range 1 shot at the stressed TIE Advanced. So we have Poe on the stressed one, and again he gets 3 natural hits. He just missed 1 from range 1 here. That looks like eyes, maybe 1 evade. So that's going to be at least 2 shields down. And then we have the TLT shooting at the same guy. And nothing, or 1, 2 with focus, which is evaded. And the second TLT shot, 1 hit, and evaded. And that means we'll see if the bandit has arc here. I don't think so, but we'll see. Nope. So now we have the TIE Advance shooting at the bandit instead, I guess. Range 1. Unmodified, but still at least 2 hits gonna go in here. And using the focus of 1. So that means the C95 should be at 1 hit point. So let's see if the other TIE Advanced can finish it off. It looks like range 2. 2 hits, or we didn't even need the accuracy corrector there. And not enough, so that means another damage goes into the Z95. And that's the end of that. So now we have, well, that's the end of that turn. So next turn comes here, the Y-Wing is banking 1 to the left here. Probably just trying to stay in the way of these TIE Advanced, because there's really no way he will get any shots unless Johan moves his ship in such a way that he will give it to you. I mean, a 1 bank right with the top Advanced and the barrel. This guy, he's doing a 1 bank that might bump into the back of the Y-Wing. Yep, for sure. Oops. Slippery little ties, and then we have another 1 bank, I guess. And the question is if this one will also bump, or will he clear it to get the range 1 shot? Oop, you moved the asteroid. Oh, you noticed it. Okay, let's see here if it will fit. It looks good, or yeah, looks like it was down. Yep. So that's a range 1 shot. So, or maybe not, doesn't look like he took an action, so maybe he did bump. And this also means that this guy can't barrel in. I mean, a 1 bank to the right with this guy and a barrel in, and then you move the other guy into that guy to get 2 range 1 shots to the Y-Wing. But hey, he might be able to concentrate fire on the Hawk instead. So that's a 1 straight from the Hawk. So yeah, it means that the TIEs can concentrate fire on it. And then we have a, is that an attempt to a K-turn? It is indeed, that's a brave move. But it looks like he's out of arc. It's going to be a range 1 shot with no tokens, so maybe squeeze in a damage there. Maybe 2 if he gets lucky. So he's going to make the Y-Wing pilot skill 12, I guess, so he's going to stress that guy out. This is the trouble by not doing the 1 bank barrel behind it. You're actually allowing the Y-Wing to get back into the game, which you really don't want, but let's see here. If he can kill the Hawk, it might be okay anyway. So let's see, he could spend the focus to avoid the damage there. Yep. He decides to spend it to take no damage from the primary. And then we have, I don't think there's a TLT shot here because I think he's in range 1. He did all 3 red dice, didn't he? Yeah. So next up should be Poe. Looks like 2. Hit the crit. Looks like 1 evade. So 1 damage squeaks through. And if there is no, oh yeah, it looks like a direct hit. And the TIE Defender, or the TIE Advanced is dead. So this is now looking pretty good here for Peter, because Johan probably would have wanted to kill off, you know, either the Y-Wing or the C95 by now. So that looks TLT shot into the other TIE Advanced, so 1 shield. And another one, this is from the Hawk, into the back TIE Advanced, 3 hits. So looks like 2 shields down. And then let's see, he's going to concentrate fire here on the hawk here. So it looks like range 2 for the back guy. And that's 2 hits from the accuracy corrector. And 1 damage going through, it looks like. And then we have the range 1 guy, and also looks like 2 hits. And that looks like he evaded one of them. Both actually, when he spent the focus. So yeah, this is quickly slipping away from the Imperials here. They can't afford to be down 1 ship here in numbers, because those TLTs will just do too much damage if they can't be taken off the board. So 1 bank from the Y-Wing, keeping its stress pile there. And then we have the TIE Advance doing a 2 straight. And if he's just banking in with the hawk here, he will probably bump and avoid taking any damage. But the thing is, he's got Poe chasing the TIE Advance now, and I can't see the TIE Advance having any way to punch through Poe if Poe just wants to stay alive. So as a rebel player, you want Poe and one of those ships to stay alive. And right now that looks pretty doable, despite both of them being not very maneuverable and not super tanky. But that's that's a dangerous move, because now you're gonna give the TIE Advanced another range 1 shot here, and another shot from the other TIE Advanced. And the Hawk only has 4 hit points left, I think. I think it lost a shield, which means he could potentially die, because I don't see Poe killing the TIE Advanced in 1 shot here. We'll see here, because he will be able to get his... Well, he could actually target lock here. I think that's what he should do, because he will not be taking any fire. He does not need to regen. Yeah, well, he's thinking about it. So yeah, he decided to target lock, which I think is the proper course of action here. So he's going to make the Y-Wing particle 12 for another stress, range 1 primary shot at that TIE Advanced. And I think when Johan allowed the Y-Wing to get back into the fight here, he kind of dug himself into a hole. So nothing at least, and then we have Poe shooting at range 1, and a good thing he took the target lock. And well, it didn't really matter. So 1 evade is all it takes to not take any damage at all there. Normally that's Poe's biggest disadvantage. He's not very good at doing damage, but he's very good at surviving. And then when he decides to roll like that at range 1 with target lock, it really doesn't help. So we have the TLT from Rourke into the back TIE Advanced. Looks like 1 hit, which is evaded. And looks like, I don't think he should spend his focus here. He needs it on defense. Yeah, just 1, so no damage. If he wants to keep the Hawk alive, it needs to be able to avoid at least 1 of these attacks. 2 hits, looks like. Well, it's an accuracy corrector, so yeah. And just 1, so good thing he kept his focus there. So 1 damage into the Hawk. Looks like it was a crit, but they did not show it to the camera. And then we have the range 1. This is okay, looks like 2 hits, or maybe a hit and a crit. And 1. So let's see what this, or let's see if they can show us what this crit is. And again, they're not showing it to the camera. So, but I assume the Hawk has 1 hit point left, or 2. If one of those were a direct hit, it should be a 1, otherwise a 2. So we're back to dials, and let's see if the TIE Advance can get a final shot here, killing that Hawk. We have a one bank from the Y-wing, which means he's not clearing stress, and there is really no way of turning around that thing now. Then we have the TIE advanced, so oopsie daisy. That's another one bank, so it's going to keep bumping into the back of the Y-wing, and hopefully get arc on the Hawk as the Hawk moves forward. And then he's going to have a let's see, he's going to do he's going to have to mark the, oh, he's doing it too hard here. So if the Hawk goes one straight, it just might, I think the other TIE will have him an arc anyway. But at least he's, oh, the Y-wing will shoot, but then maybe the Hawk won't shoot, so too hard with Poe. We'll put him in a nice shooting position again here. So the question is, oh, he's deciding to hard turn to the right. Just getting smack into there. So it'll be interesting to see who he bumps. Okay, he did bump the front TIE advanced there, which means the Hawk will not have any shots, but Poe will have a range one shot again. And there is only one TIE advanced who's got a shot at the Hawk, so looks very good for Peter here. And he's going to make pilot skill 12 of the goal, stress that one, and do the primary shot here at range 1. And nothing. At least he's dealing out stress. And then we have Poe, range 1, with what we decided to take a focus this turn. He decided this target lock didn't help, so let's do focus. And that was indeed the correct choice, so 4 hits. And looks like a lot of hits went in there. Couldn't really tell due to the overlay. But yeah, it did killed it. And then there is no more shots this turn. So it's just that lone Tempest Squadron pilot here, desperate to stay alive. It's double stressed, and it's got the Y-wing running into its way here. So it's probably just going to one bank into that. Poe is going to go one straight to victory, as he always does here, and just blast it from the back. And yeah, he's going to just one bank straight into it to clear one stress. And then he has to pray to his green die gods to avoid the damage from Poe here. And this guy is doing another, just keeping going straight there in the conga line. Rebel, Imperial, Rebel, and then we have a one straight or a one bank. Yeah, one bank for the range one shot, and he has decided that focus is the way to go. So we have one shot coming here this turn, range 1 from Poe into the Tempest Squadron. Okay, I don't know what they're doing right now. Okay, so here it comes. And that looks like 3 hits with the focus, or maybe 2. Oh, one did. Look at those blanks. That's what TIEs really hate. Green dice, not helping. So he should be shields down and at least 1 into hull on that one. And there's no more shots, so next turn. And the Y-wing is just going to creep forward slowly, being in the way here, clearing the stress, but I don't think he will ever get back into this fight again now. And then we have a one bank to the right, hoping to make sure that if Poe banks, he will bump into him. He's now stress-free, and then we have the Hawk, who's banking the other way. setting up for being able to, clear the distance to have its TLT work. So he could probably target lock him here this turn. Oh, he's probably clearing a crit or something there, which we did not see which one it was. Let's pretend it was damaged sensor array. And then we have the one bank from Poe, which bumps, and then we're going to be back to dials. And again, the Y-Wing, he's just gonna... Ooh, he's gonna hard turn 2 here. Trying to catch the tie in his arc in case the tie goes fast here. So let's see what Johan decides. He is... he was kind of hoping for that, I think, here, because he decided to do... I'm gonna do a hard turn as well. So he might be able to set up a kill shot here on the Y-Wing, but I think the Y-Wing has a shot first because Rourke is going to make him Pascal 12, and I think he has his arc. Ah, okay, so he's going to do the barrel, yeah. That seems like the best choice here. So then we have a one bank with the Hawk, so that means he now has 2 different targets he can pick from. So whoever is closest to death, he will probably target that guy. And I think Poe will again bump. Yep. But as long as Poe can stay behind the tie advanced, Poe wins this on points anyway. But I don't think the Tempest will kill both the Y-Wing and the Hawk here before this game goes to time. So they are checking arcs, and I assume he's going to have range 1 on either ship, so he's just going to have to decide which one is closest to death here. I mean the Y-Wing has 1 less green die, but I think it has more hit points left. I think the Hawk has maximum of 2, so it's going to be 2 hits from accuracy corrector. And it is indeed the Hawk. It looks like 1 evade. So that was enough, and Rourke Garnet is no more. So now this could be kind of interesting here. I mean, the Rebels are still winning, because the Tempest Squadron needs to kill Poe to win this game. But if he can finish the Y-Wing as well, he's gonna go get some okay MOV here, trying to at least not go down fighting. So that's another hard 2 from the Y-Wing, which means it will be tricky for the tie advance to get him in arc. So that's another hard 2, and he might be able to barrel in behind. Yeah, I think he will. And then again, he will be in a position where he might bump Poe as well, or block Poe as well. Unless Poe has foreseen this and is doing a K-turn. Ah, he is banking the other way. So he is at least setting himself up for a hard turn and a boost. He could boost now, or he can take a target lock. No, yeah, he takes a target lock. And looks like 2 hits on the accuracy corrector and 1 evade. So it is a dodgy Y-Wing. I think it had a lot of evades early in the game as well, when it was targeted. So it's still alive, it looks like. And we're back to dials. And then we have another hard 2 here. The Y-Wing is really trying to stay alive here. And the only way for the tie advance to have a shot now is a K-turn. A hard 2 will not leave him with enough room to barrel here, I think. Nor will a 1 bank. He decided to do the 1 bank in case the Y-Wing was running just straight. And this means if there's a what's it called? The hard 3 turnaround from Poe. Poe will have a shot. It is called... It's not a sloop and it's not a K-turn, so it's going to be the Talon roll. But I don't think it is, but let's see. Maybe. Looks like it was, yes. It did. Talon roll there, so he will have target locked shot at the Tempest, but it looks like it might be range 3. Yeah, there should be a stress on Poe as well. Let's see if it matters. So he's going to get 2 hits. And let's see if the Tidehorse can come up with any evades. Yeah, it's range 3. Looks like maybe 1 evade, maybe 2. And then we have the following turn. That's another hard 2. That Y-Wing is just going in circles. Which is pretty okay here because he wants to stay away. Stay alive, out of arc of that Tidehorse, who is also hard turning too. And he probably is, let's see if it's going to be another range 3. He will, oh, he's going to try to barrel roll in there, trying to get covered by the rock to get another green die from Poe's attack. And then we have Poe who's just doing a 1 straight, which means it will indeed be a range 3 shot through a rock. So it's going to be 3 versus 5. But now, so yep. But no tokens, so those 5 green dice are still very fickle. So it looks like 1. And he is thinking, he's not doing anything. I think it's 2 hits and 1 evade. And we're back to dials. And should we assume it's another hard 2 here, or is it just running now with the Y-Wing? That's a bank. 3 bank. And this is going to be a hard turn to the left. Okay, so probably it's just try to stay alive, keep the points mode for the tie here. So oh, he decides to barrel. I don't know why he's doing that, because that will put him closer to Poe and not give him an action. Ah, okay, so Poe went the other way anyway. So that looks like the barrel took him out of arc, and there is no room for a boost. So that was a good move. I was assuming Poe would just do a 1 straight instead. So it looks like they're going to have to check arc here very carefully. I mean, they had a laser there before. Let's see if they can find it again. Yeah, looks like there it is, and hard to tell. Let's see what they decide. Looks like he's decided to sheet here, so I guess he was in arc. So 2 hits. Might as well spend the target lock there, since you do have the focus as well. So yeah, 3, and not enough symbols. So that's the end of the Tidehorse. So good game, guys. Stay tuned. I have 2 more games from this tournament coming up here soon. So see you soon.